We're live.
What's up, metalheads? Welcome to the Full Metal Trivia channel and another episode of Full Metal 5. Last week we did top 5 Pixar movies for y'all, and this week, in the spirit of the holidays, we're going to do our top 5 Christmas movies. There's not really any Christmas movies coming out this year as far as we've checked. Just talk about the movies we like to watch during these holidays. With me, the sweetheart of this channel and our #1 question writer, Jeremy the Adams. Once again, how you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing great. I had so much fun with Pixar, and I'm really excited to talk about holiday movies. This is something that's very close to my heart, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, same here. And also with us, as always, is our resident Harley Quinn, running the camera. Mark, how you doing?
Pretty good, and at least my hair kind of matches the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, well, you got blue, but whatever. We'll let it go for this time. It looks kind of green on the camera. Another 2 special guests with us this evening for some of y'all, afternoon for others. First up, we have the Hobbit himself, Robert Parker. Robert, how you doing?
Hey, man, that's me. I'm doing great. It's going to be a great night. I think we're all going to get super passionate. And yeah, I think I have a pretty good list here, and I'm super excited to get into it.
Yes, this is going to be the bloodiest Christmas ever. And always a pleasure to have, even when we fight about Power Rangers, is Tim Smith. Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good, RJ. It's like we're destined to always be together. But yeah, it's great to talk about some of these Christmas movies I had as a kid, guys, and we have a good, healthy Christmas discussion.
Hopefully it'll be healthy enough. If not, we'll argue about it later.
Oh, yeah.
At least we're all not with each other, because then it would actually be a bloodbath. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. For those of you who are new to this, and even for those of you who know how this works, we're going to start with the nomination round. What we're going to do is we're going to go around the proverbial table here. Each of us is going to nominate a movie that we think should be in at least the top 7 to be considered for this list. When one person will recommend a movie, then it will go to the others. It must be ratified in a majority rule, which for us is a 3-2 vote. It must at least have 3 votes to make the consideration list. So, since, let me think. You know what? This was my idea, so I'm going to start it. I was the one who came up with this idea, so I'm going to start it. And you know what? I'm going to start off with an easy one, at least I think is an easy one, and that is 1954's White Christmas. I mean, talk about a Christmas classic. First of all, the cast it had for the time. Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney. I always forget her last name. Jeremy, you want to help me out?
Oh, the 4th one? I'm drawing a blank too, sorry.
Dang it. I always draw a blank on her name. But
yeah.
First of all, a fantastic all-star cast. A greatly underrated musical in my mind. And talk about a movie that's all about Christmas that literally only has like 1 Christmas song in it. And the title of the movie is one of the most beloved Christmas songs of all time. That movie and that song in together hold each other up, and that's why they've lasted so long, because that movie and that song together just bring out the spirit of Christmas, and what it's all about in the movie is just goodwill towards your fellow man. That's what the whole movie is about, just helping someone who's in dire need and what Christmas can bring together. And I just think no Christmas list is complete, no Christmas season movie. I'm going to go ahead, just because I know it's a for sure yes. I'm going to go to Jeremy first. Jeremy, does White Christmas make this list?
Well, just to get a little film nerd real quick, the song was first introduced in a movie called Holiday Inn in the early 40s, also sang by Bing Crosby, which is also a wonderful holiday movie. But I think White Christmas for me is a little higher, because it's got the wonderful Technicolor, it's got the great cast, the energy. It's just like one of the ultimate old school holiday Christmas films, and it absolutely does make the list for me. So it's a yes.
All right. Well, next we'll go to one of our special guests first. So let's go with Robert. Robert, does White Christmas make our list of 7?
It definitely makes the list of 7 nominees for me. I think it might be a little bit in contention as for the top 5, but yeah, I'm going to go with a yes for in the 7 nominees.
With that, White Christmas officially does make the nominees list. Tim, just out of curiosity, would you have voted yes or no if it would have came to you?
Honestly, probably the two things my mom loved most was MASH and White Christmas. If I would say no, I would feel probably the biggest hand upside the back of my head. So I'm not going
Fair.
against
Mark,
that.
what about you?
You may hate me for this, but I've never seen it.
Not surprised.
Oh, dude, it's one of those movies. You got to go find it. Honestly, I'm just lucky I ever found it because my grandma watched AMC every Christmas, and they never not have White Christmas on that channel during this holiday season.
I just like with me when it comes to like TBS, with my one pick. That was the one thing you watched all the time during Christmas.
That's true.
On every 24/7.
Well, we're going to hold off on that later. I'm actually going to go to the Adam next. So, Jeremy, what movie would you like to nominate to be on the consideration list?
Well, I think because I know what a couple of the other people are going to nominate, I'm going to go to what is my number 3 on my list and prove that I do love the 90s to some degree, because it is the movie I think I've probably seen the most of any Christmas movie ever. I think I infinitely watched it on a loop back on VHS, and that would be Home Alone. The Macaulay Culkin classic. I just love the movie from beginning to end, and it's got great Christmas songs. It's a fantastic movie, and you know, it's a great comedy, it's a great kids movie, and it's a great Christmas movie. It's got it all. So I absolutely nominate Home Alone.
Absolutely, not a bad nomination at all. So let's go to Tim first, since your vote didn't count. Yes, Tim, does Home Alone make the nomination list?
Jeremy, you're cheating from earlier because you
No,
knew I had that as my number 1.
I didn't know that.
But yes, Home Alone should definitely make this list. I mean, come on. You have Macaulay Culkin, you have Joe Pesci, you have Daniel Stern, Kathleen O'Hara, John Candy. I mean, how does this not for Christmas make the list? Who doesn't love to see Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern get beat up in a fun horror house on Christmas? Come on.
I know I love it.
Yes.
That is true. That is true. All right, so that's 2 votes for it. Mark, since your vote also didn't count last time, let's go to you. Does Home Alone make the list?
Make the top 7 without a shadow of a doubt. One of the, especially if you grew up in the early 90s, it was one of the Christmas movies that you always watched, no matter what. Like, it was, and Macaulay Culkin was inspiring. You wanted to take on burglars when you were that age, which I was around that age, roughly. And I was always like, oh, if anyone attacks me in my house, beware.
Yeah. I think all us 90s kids we all had that fantasy.
All right, so with that, Home Alone does make the list. Robert, any thoughts on it? Would you have gone a different way, or you agree with these guys over here?
Surprisingly, I actually think I would have said no on that one. It's in the top 10, but I don't think I would have put it in the top 7. As much as I love that John Williams score, it was nominated for 2 Oscars. At the same time, I was, as a little bit younger of a guy, I came in a little bit late to the party in this one. I didn't grow up watching this movie. I kind of discovered it in my early teens, so this is not one that holds a special place in my heart.
Fair enough.
That's fair. And for me, I just got to say, this movie got me into Carol of the Bells. Just got to say, the John Williams rendition of it, fantastic. Like, that was my favorite part. And especially doing that music to when he's preparing his house, when he's finally getting everything together. I mean, he couldn't have picked a more perfect song to just get you amped up of like, this is my house. I have to defend it. Yes, you do.
and then also, it cuts off when he's eating a macaroni and cheese dinner.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part.
But I will say one thing.
He has to psych himself up. He gives himself like a little psych up speech. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and I'm not going to nominate today, but I do have to say my favorite one of the Home Alone is actually Home Alone 3, which doesn't have Macaulay Culkin in it. I don't know why. Something about that movie I just enjoy more than the other 2.
Never saw it.
Conversation for another day. Don't worry, we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Thank you.
So Home Alone's on the list. All right, let's go ahead and go with one of our special guests first. Let's go to The Hobbit. Robert, what movie would you like to nominate to make the top 7?
Alrighty, well, it is my 3rd favorite movie, not just Christmas movie. It is my 3rd favorite movie of all time, and it is 1946's It's a Wonderful Life. I think this is a perfect movie in every respect. Frank Capra knocks it out of the park as director. This is a perfectly directed movie, a perfectly written movie. Dmitry Tiomkin, who does the score for this movie, is a little bit less known of a film composer, but in this era, he just rewatch this movie and pay attention to the score. It evokes such emotion. This is just a great story. I mean, Jimmy Stewart, obviously fantastic in this movie. You know, you have Donna Reed, Lionel Barrymore, Thomas Mitchell. There's just a great cast. It's so memorable. The great character moments between whether it's Clarence. It was nominated for 5 Oscars. There's just so much to love about this movie, but it also has a dark side, which is something that you don't necessarily think to see. But if you watch that movie is dark, but it also pulls at your heartstrings so well. That final scene where they're all in his house dumping money on his table and say, "Oh, to my big brother George, the richest man in town," you start to weep when you see that scene. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it should absolutely be on our list.
All right, not a bad argument. I'm gonna go ahead and go first because I feel like I'll be in the minority anyway, so I don't feel like getting it out of the way. I'm gonna say no. I feel that It's a Wonderful Life is overrated. It's just never hit me like it's hit other people. Nothing to say against any parts of the movie. The actors are great. The score's fantastic. It's a great film, but it's just never hit me like it hits other people. I don't know if it's because it was on a lot when I was a kid and I just found it boring. I don't know what it was about it, but I could just never get into watching it. And that's probably not the only movie I'm going to be saying that about. Other movies that are going to be nominated on this list. So be warned. But for me, It's a Wonderful Life, it's going to have to be a no. It definitely deserves to be in the top 10, but I don't think it deserves to be in the top 5. I would say it would probably be 6.
This is where we start fighting.
That's all right. Fine. Jeremy, I was actually going to go to you next. So your thoughts on It's a Wonderful Life?
It's your number 3 of all time, Robert. I think it's my number 6 of all time. It's one of the most perfect, wonderful, powerful, awesome movies ever made. It's just the tops, and it completely embodies what Christmas is all about. A lot of Christmas movies cheat, that they'll throw, some Santa in there, or they'll throw some cheap, stuff that we know of Christmas to try to get to us. Like, It's a Wonderful Life doesn't cheat. This is about what the holiday spirit, about what being a human is, about what the holiday season is, about what it means to connect to other people and how we affect each other's lives. So for me, it really embodies Christmas, and it's my number 1 Christmas movie. So it's a yes.
Hey, like I said, that's what we're here for. So that's why we have 5 people. All right, so let's go ahead and give it to any, meeny, miny, Mark. Mark, does It's a Wonderful Life make the list?
I'm also probably going to get hated for this, but I feel the exact same way you do, RJ.
Oh, this is a travesty.
I'm sorry. I don't.
I knew this was coming, Robert. I knew it was coming.
I don't have the emotional attachment to the film.
They're too young.
Hey, like I said, man, I'm with you on that one. So, unfortunately, here we go for the first time. Tim, it comes down to you, but I already see your face.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
Make the list.
Because I have my thoughts with It's a Wonderful Life, and I want to get that out of the way first. I do believe it's a good Christmas story with the spirit of man, with Christmas, of believing that your life is worth living. I do. But it
in the top 7 at least.
We're just okay. Yeah, we're just doing 7
nominees.
7 for now.
Yes.
7
I would say to put it in the top 7, yes. Because of that, I do hearken on with Jeremy. It is that good story of man for Christmas. I do believe it should be there.
Hey, that's no problem. Absolutely. So with that, It's a Wonderful Life does barely make the consideration list of 7. Oh, that's going to be a fight later. I can already tell.
Oh my God.
Oh,
yeah.
Robert and I will be leaving. Yeah, we're going to be here for the whole show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. All right. So let's go ahead and go to our cameraman, Mark. What is the movie you'd like to nominate for the list?
Okay, the one that there's my top 2 Christmas films. One of them, without a doubt, I have to get A Nightmare Before Christmas on the list.
Oh crap! Yeah.
I'm without a doubt. Like, throughout my childhood, even nowadays, my little minion watches Nightmare Before Christmas all the time. Probably like the one movie that I've seen probably about 300 times since 93 or 94, whenever it came out. Like, there was a haunted house that I helped out with that was Nightmare Before Christmas theme. The songs, the stop motion, like everything about it, it's not dated at all. It's just one of the I'd say it's near a perfect movie for me. Like, I can't. Sure, there's some flaws, but everything about it, for the most part, everything about it, I love. I could watch 5 seconds of it and instantly know exactly what's going on. It's my favorite. It's without a doubt top. If nothing else, top 5 movies of all time for me.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Robert first. Robert, does The Nightmare Before Christmas make the consideration list?
See, I do agree with some of the things that Mark's saying as far as, yeah, it's a really good movie. But for me, I don't think it should be in contention as one of the best Christmas movies. I think it's a great movie. I think it's more, for me personally, I think it's more of a Halloween movie than it is a Christmas movie. Yeah, it has both. But I think it spends more time focusing on the Halloween holiday than it does the Christmas holiday. I do really like the movie. It's the 3rd best Danny Elfman score for a film. But I don't think it should be in contention in the top 7. If we're talking top 10, I would probably throw it in there for contention. But in top 7, I don't think I'm going to say no.
All right, so that's a no for that. I'm going to go ahead and go next and say, are you insane? It's not. It's more about Halloween. There's one Halloween song in that entire movie. The rest of the movie is about Christmas. The rest of the movie is literally about Christmas.
Why do I have a feeling it's going to come down to me again? Why?
Oh, man.
Probably not. I'll probably go to you next just so it doesn't have to. But come on. That movie is about Christmas. As one of the most important things about Christmas in there. What's most important about the holiday is not all the flash and the glamour of being Santa Claus. It's being with the people you love. And that is what Jack learns in the end. And that is the true meaning of Christmas. This is a Christmas movie. Not only was it one of Danny Elfman's best scores, he's a wonderful singer. Just putting it out there.
3rd best Danny Elfman score.
So, that's going to be 2 yeses for it. So I'll go to Tim next. Tim. Yes, does Nightmare Before Christmas make the list?
I agree that it is that good movie because even on Christmas, my cousin and his little boy, every Christmas since he's 8 now, so ever since he was born, they've always watched it. He's loved it. But for me, it's not in the top 7 for Christmas. It'd be a no for me.
That's absolutely fine. So it comes down to Jeremy. Unfortunately, I think I know his answer, but let's ask him anyways. Jeremy, does The Nightmare Before Christmas make the consideration list?
It's one of my favorite animated films. It's a great movie. I love it. It just doesn't scream Christmas to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, it has some good Christmas messages in there, some good Christmas scenes, but I always think of it first for the great, character designs of all the monsters and Halloween Town. Like all that stuff, Oogie Boogie's a great villain. Like all that stuff kind of stands out to me a little more than the Christmas stuff. So just wouldn't quite make the top 7, but god dang, it's a great film.
Yeah, if we were talking best animated movies, I'd put it in there. But Christmas movies, they're better.
All right. So with that, unfortunately, Nightmare Before Christmas does not make the consideration list, and Mark continues his streak of not getting his first movie nominated. I'm pretty sure,
I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm pretty sure every episode, the first movie Mark has nominated, it has not made the list. He's had movies make the list, but I think his first never does.
If my next one doesn't, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. So with that leaves us to Tim. Tim, the last one in this first go around the table. So Tim, what movie would you like to recommend for our list?
Well, I think I know which one Mark is talking about. And as a good teammate, Mark, I'm leaving that one for you. I will go with, since Home Alone was taken, I want to go with one that I loved as a kid, and that was the story of A Christmas Carol, but with a spin. The Muppet Christmas Carol
Yay!
from 1992.
Woo!
And I grew up.
I didn't
I'm
think
young
you'd
enough.
be the one. Good job.
Well, I'm still young enough. I grew up with the Muppets too, and as Ebenezer Scrooge. I mean, how can you go wrong with this? Kermit as Bob Cratchit. I mean, a great kids Christmas, the whole family. You can get around and watch that, and I love that with the Muppet Christmas Carol, and I'm always gonna love it. Even though Gonzo and his buddy at times is narrating that whole thing, it kind of gets a little loopy, but yeah, it kind of does. But it's one of mine as a kid growing up and loving that. So that's mine for my first one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there, like, because if you didn't nominate it now, it was getting nominated next. No joke, that was on mine already next. This for me is
B3.
as much. There are a lot of Christmas carols out there. Don't get me wrong, and they're all great in their own way. But for me, this is the one I want to watch when people are like, "Oh, let's watch a Christmas Carol." I'm like, "Can we watch the Muppets Christmas Carol though?" Like, to me, it's the most family friendly, at least. Like, it's one you can, like, those older ones are creepy as hell. Like, granted, it's because they follow the novel more. They are scary. Even Jim Carrey's takes it a little bit far a couple of times when he plays like everybody.
Yeah.
Even his gets a little creepy at times.
Scrooge wasn't that far, and that was kind of the same thing.
Yeah, but for me, like I'm saying, like the Muppets one is the one I want to watch when we want to do the Christmas Carol. It's the one I want to watch, so yes, for me, it definitely makes the list. Robert, how about you?
You were not wrong. I was also going to nominate this one next. I'm going to say absolutely yes. I also agree this is my favorite version of the Christmas Carol. The cast is awesome. The songs are awesome. I'm a big fan of Charles Dickens as an author. I really like a lot of his other stories, like, Tale of Two Cities, Prince and the Pauper, Oliver Twist, all that kind of stuff. I love his writing, and Christmas Carol is by far, in my opinion, his best story that he's ever written, and I think this is the best adaptation of that story ever. So I don't think it's, like, obviously the most faithful, but absolutely yes.
All right, so with that, the Muppets Christmas Carol is it a Muppets Christmas Carol or the Muppets Christmas Carol? I can't remember.
A Muppet Christmas Carol.
I thought it was just
Okay.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
No, it's
I'm looking
a
at
Muppet
right
Christmas
now.
Carol. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
okay,
Muppets Christmas
okay.
Carol?
I think it's
Okay.
a Muppet singular. I think it's a Muppet Christmas
Yeah,
Carol.
I think
The
Jeremy's
Muppet.
with the A.
Is it the?
Christmas Carol.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
was
it's
wrong.
the
Muppet Christmas Carol. Okay.
I had that wrong.
Well, with that,
Okay.
the Muppet Christmas Carol does make the list. Jeremy, I don't think I had to ask, considering your consideration, but would this have made the list anyways for you?
I honestly do think it's the best cinematic version of A Christmas Carol, and there are a lot of great ones. And I just got to say, no one mentioned Michael Caine yet, who is unbelievable as Scrooge.
I did.
Yeah,
You did? Okay, good.
Michael Caine.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
It's okay.
Yeah. Mark, what about you? Would Muppet Christmas Carol make the list?
Well, since apparently my childhood means nothing, I guess I could say it does. Even though I'm a massive Muppet fan, so.
All right. All right, so with that, all right, so we've gone around once, and luckily we are where we should be. We're about halfway through the list. Just a reminder for everybody. So far we have Home Alone, It's a Wonderful Life, and The Muppet Christmas Carol. So now we come back to me, and shit. That took like, yeah, it only took like two of mine, but they were the two I was going to mention next. So you know what? I think I'm going to throw like maybe the first curveball here. I'm going to nominate Love Actually.
Oh, crap.
This, first of all, this is a star-studded cast for the time. Alan Rickman, Liam Neeson, Keira Knightley, Emma Thompson, Giselle Ejiofor. I hope I said his name right. And to throw this out there, a lot of people don't realize this. Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead was in this movie.
Yep.
I didn't know that for the longest time.
He's the creepy stalker with the cue cards.
Yes, he's the creepy stalker. But this movie, not only is it just Bill Nighy also. Just let me throw that. His character in it is one of the best. Hugh Grant, Colin Firth. Look at the cast alone. Should tell you how great this movie was. And it was so Martin Freeman. Oh my God! I keep looking at the cast list. I need to stop. But this movie was just one of those great romantic movies that's based around Christmas time. So Christmas isn't the main focus, but the way it used the Christmas season to tell all these individual stories so perfectly. I think it's a classic during the holiday season to watch. warm movie to watch with your family or your loved ones. It's dramatic. It's got everything you need that you want for the holiday season. I think it definitely deserves to be at least considered for a top Christmas movie. Just because of his reaction. Or you know what? Actually, let's go with who didn't count last. Mark, yours didn't count last time. Does Love Actually make the list?
I don't think it should count now. I've never even heard of this movie before.
Hey, that's fair.
I have no idea about this movie. I'm sorry.
Well, check it out.
That's totally fine. Jeremy, your vote also didn't count last time. So you, does Love Actually make the list?
I don't know if this is my fault or the movie's fault, but it never occurred to me. But I love the movie. It's a great movie. It never came to mind. And for that reason, I can't put it on the list. I'm sorry. But everyone watch it. It's a wonderful romance. A really good movie.
Hey, no, that's fair. Like I said, a lot of people don't realize it was meant to be a holiday movie. So
yeah, I did. It didn't occur to me when I was making this particular list. But yeah, it's a great holiday movie, and you should all watch it.
Absolutely. Let's go to Robert. You're my last chance. I doubt it, but does Love Actually make the list?
I have seen Love Actually once in my life, which it might be the biggest sin of them all. But I have seen it once, and I did like it. I think it's really good as an ensemble movie. But I'm with Jeremy. It didn't really pop into my head as, oh man, that is a Christmas movie. That should be in the top 5 Christmas movies. I think it's a really good movie. I liked it a lot. A little bit long for me, but I just don't think it should be in consideration for the top Christmas movies.
Agreed. It is quite long. So with that, Love Actually is off the list. Tim, have you even seen it? I'm just gonna ask.
I've seen it, but I never. When you first said, I'm like, really? Like it
I like
just
watching it during the holiday season. It makes me smile.
No, it was a very solid pick and totally cool. Totally cool.
Rene, I'll give you that one because I watch basketball and put little Santa hats on them. So go ahead.
All right. So with that, Love Actually is off the list. So let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, what is your next nomination?
I really thought someone else was going to get to it first, but it's getting a little later here, so I'll go ahead and throw it out there. You can't beat it. A Christmas Story from 1983.
God damn it! I was saving that. Somebody.
I'm sorry, guys, but it's been so long now. I wanted to be sure it got on there. It's just absolutely great. It's a wonderful story about a kid in the 1940s, and all he wants for Christmas is a BB gun. It's hysterical. It's heartfelt. It's the great Gene Shepard, who was a humorist, and he did shows on the radio. He wrote this book, and then they transferred the book into a movie. He narrates the movie, and it's just fantastic. And yeah, it's one that you can watch over and over again on TBS, and it never gets old. It's just the ultimate Christmas comedy for me.
Hey, I mean, you definitely can't deny that about it. But all right. So Christmas Story, let's go ahead and go to Tim. Tim, you're the only one who didn't vote on the last one. So does A Christmas Story make this list?
Definitely, I had that for my third one after I had to take out my second one being TV. But yeah, I mean, for every family I know, no matter where I would go, guess what would be on TV when we're there talking, chatting, opening up our Christmas presents? It's Ralphie there getting ready to shoot off his glasses with a BB gun. I mean, where can you go wrong with your dad and your mom washing your mouth out for soap for saying fuck?
It's so fun. So many funny moments.
I mean, it's perfect. It definitely makes the list.
It was soap poisoning. Oh God, I could quote that movie all day.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Mark. Mark, does A Christmas Story make the list?
Do you make the list? Hell yeah. And don't forget to drink your Ovaltine milk.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, A Christmas Story does make the consideration list. Robert, any different opinion from these guys?
No, it wasn't in my personal top 7, but I still would have said yes because it was number 8 for me. I still think it deserves to be in contention, to be in the discussion for the top 7. So I still would have said yes.
Yeah, as for me, I'm not gonna lie, I would have said no. That's a movie for me that is too overplayed. It's lost its magic for me. And honestly, Mark, up with that, TBS is who killed it for me because they decided, yeah, let's just play it for 24 hours straight. No movie. And for me, it killed it. I can't. And also for me, there's a family story to it, which I'll tell real quick. One Christmas, my cousin got his eye hit with a BB that his sister was playing with his Christmas BB and shot him in the eye. And to avoid getting her in trouble, he told them it ricocheted and he shot himself. So that was the joke of the family for years. Until one drunken Christmas, he finally told us the truth. He was tired of getting made fun of. He was tired of it every time the movie would came on that everybody's like, hey, Ralphie, don't shoot your eye out. So it's just, like I said, like, I'm not surprised it made this list. I knew it was going to be on here, but I would have said no personally just because of my personal feelings for the movie. Nothing against it at all.
Fair.
So with that, we are moving on to Robert again. Robert.
Awesome. So I am going to put up a movie for discussion that I personally love, and I honestly am just gonna say it because I don't think it'll get through, but I love this movie. I think it displays so much about what Christmas means, and really, no matter what your age, I think it really harkens back to childhood innocence and really remembering the spirit of Christmas when you were a kid, and that's The Polar Express. I love this movie. I think that the cast led by Tom Hanks is fantastic as a voice actor. I think the visual spectacle of this movie is absolutely brilliant. And I really think the story is just perfect as far as going back to a time when you really just felt like a kid during the holiday season. And that's what I think we all love the Christmas season for, is romanticizing about times from our past. I think that's one of the main themes of Christmas as a whole, and I think this movie displays it perfectly.
No, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my vote first and say, yeah, it definitely deserves consideration. I mean, I loved that book as a kid, and I remember when they announced that they were finally making a movie about it, my family was like, we need to go see this movie. And we did. I went with all my cousins. A couple of us were like old for it, but we didn't care. We were like, this is the book we sat down and read in front of the fireplace every Christmas. It wasn't Twas the Night Before Christmas. It was The Polar Express.
Not to mention it's directed by Robert Zemeckis.
It is directed by Robert Zemeckis, and Tom Hanks pulls a Jim Carrey and plays like 5 characters. So, or is it
2, I think.
with Santa, the Conductor, the Hobo?
2. 3. He does do Santa. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, Santa, the Conductor, and the Hobo.
Yep.
It definitely deserves the consideration, so yes to Polar Express. Let's go to Polar Express, make our consideration list.
RJ's been the resident Grinch so far tonight. Now it's my turn. Sorry, guys. I don't like the Polar Express. I think the Polar Express is a weird, creepy movie, and it skeeves me out to watch. I just rather would read the book, so it's a no. Sorry.
That's fair.
That's totally fine. All right, let's go to Tim. Tim, does the Polar Express make the list?
Oh, give me a second, because that was great. But I mean, I'm probably going to side with Jeremy on this because, yes, I remember the book, but when the movie came out and I saw the trailer for it and everything, I'm just like, Jim Carrey and Christmas, no, it just was a no for me. I loved the book, but I just didn't have that urge to want to see the movie.
It's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks?
Jim Carrey's the Grinch.
No.
What?
Jim
I
Carrey's
thought
the
he was
Grinch.
I could have sworn he was the Grinch.
No, he was
Tom
calling
Hanks.
me a Grinch.
Jim Carrey is
Yeah.
the Christmas Carol.
Here.
Yeah, Polar Express is Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't want to see that one either. So. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
still,
so it'd be
either way.
no anyways.
All right, so,
Yeah.
Mark, does Polar Express make the consideration list?
Before this movie came out, it must be an American thing, but I've never even heard of the Polar Express before. And then when I saw the trailer for it, I got extremely creeped out by the animation.
The music is so good.
The trailer for the animation creeped me out. I never had any interest in watching it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, unfortunately,
all right.
Polar Express is off the consideration. That's sad. I like that book. Now I'm going to just go watch the movie.
Heard of it.
All right, so with that, let us move on to Mark. Let's see if his round 2 can bring him back. Mark, what is the next movie you'd like to nominate?
Well, despite you guys pretty much destroying my childhood with The Nightmare Before Christmas not being a Christmas movie, not being a Christmas movie. But at least A Christmas Story's made the list. That's probably my number one Christmas movie. Nightmare and Christmas Story can flip flop, but I guess the next one on my list there's two on there that you won't consider Christmas movies, but I have to go with Elf, I guess, on my list.
That was coming.
Yeah, that was coming eventually.
That was coming too.
Well, yeah, no, just because like all the other stuff's been taken. It was either Elf or Home Alone 2. I'd say I really do like Home Alone 2, but I go with Elf because Will Ferrell's absolutely. He makes you believe. Let's just say that. And Robert Duvall is awesome in it. Well, it's another one of those movies I can't say anything bad about.
Robert Duvall is not in that movie.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, James Caan, sorry.
James Caan, yeah.
Yeah,
The other guy from
Caan.
The other guy from
Sorry.
Godfather.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
my bad. That was my bad. James Caan.
No problem.
And completely my bad. Sorry about that. Go
It's
ahead.
all good.
No, so let's go ahead and go to Tim. Tim, does Elf make the consideration list?
I think for me, it's yes, it qualifies as a Christmas movie, but for the top 7, I'd have to say no, because it got into there was some movies of Will Ferrell's. I was like, that's funny, and then there's others where I wanted to strangle him because it was too much, and I thought Elf was too much. Doesn't make the top 7 list for me. I mean, granted, I love Bob Newhart in that movie, but
All right, let's go ahead and go to Robert next. Robert, does Elf make the list?
This one is really, really tough. If it gets into the top 7, I personally don't think it'll make it in the top 5, but I'm actually going to go yes on this one. I think Zooey Deschanel steals the show. I think her chemistry with Will Ferrell is actually surprisingly good. I think Jon Favreau does a good job directing this movie. He cameos in it too, but that's a different story. I'm going to go yes on this one.
All right, so that's 2 yeses, 1 no. Jeremy, does Elf make the list?
This is a tough one because, there is a comedy that I like more that I would like to put on, but I don't think that movie's going to have a prayer. So I'm just going to save time and say yes. Let's put Elf in there. It's right on the edge for me, but it's real great.
All right, so with that, Elf does make the list. And I bet I know which comedy you're talking about since you're an 80s kid.
You don't. Well, maybe. It is 80s. I doubt it, though.
yeah, I think even I know.
All right. Well, there's two.
All right,
there's two.
so-
One of them has to make it. The other one probably won't.
Well, there's only one
I'm
spot.
gonna be, well, the one that you think has to make it, let's not forget there's only one
there's
spot left.
left.
Yeah, and it's got to be that movie.
So, Tim, what is your nomination?
Even though I know it has no shot in hell, and I don't blame anyone for it, I'm going to skip past defending Home Alone 2 because we already have Home Alone in there. This is a guilty pleasure on Christmas where I watch this in a dark room and not admit to anybody. Is their smash comedy hit Jingle All the Way from 1996.
It's
When you have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad fighting over a freaking toy for the kids at Christmas, I mean, it's a guilty pleasure of mine just to see that. And to see at the end when he dresses up like Turbo Man, for the parade. But he does it for his kid. He does it all for his kid. So I enjoy it for that. But it's just a guilty pleasure of mine. I wanted to get mentioned, even though I know it has no shot.
No, honestly, I'm going to go next because I'm going to let everybody else have to talk about it to get it off the list because I say yes. I love it.
Sabotage.
That movie is so hilarious.
We're
Like
off
he
the rails,
said,
folks.
I mean, just the Christmas message, of course, of like a man learning that he needs to spend more time with his family is also good.
Mhm.
And it is probably one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best comedies of the many comedies he tried to do. Him being a struggling dad chasing after a doll over New York. Not only that, but having to go up against crazy mailman Sinbad. And and then ending up having to fight him and his Power Ranger minions at the end in a parade, and everyone thinks it's a show. It's great. It's fantastic. I mean, and come on, who didn't love that he got to ride around in a jetpack at the end? Come on.
And young Anakin Skywalker.
That's right. That was the same kid.
Yeah, we don't mention that, Jeremy. We don't even in Star Wars.
I
we don't
just
mention
did.
him.
I'm gonna mention it again. I can't believe it. You're right. That was the Anakin kid.
He's a lot better than Jingle All the Way. I'll
Big
give
boy.
that.
All right. So that's 2 votes for it. So I'm gonna go to Mark next. Mark, does Jingle All the Way make the list?
I can't believe
You're not going to give the a chance
This delights me.
to take it off?
Your yay or nay, Mark? Come on.
Oh,
Are you saying you want to vote for it?
Bring it on.
There are 10 Christmas movies better than this.
This is a joke,
Yeah,
anyways.
There's 50 better.
It was number 7 on my list.
Oh!
All right, it's on.
No way. I don't believe this.
That,
Oh my
yeah,
God!
well, that means we're at 7.
Oh
That's how the
my
way. That's the
God.
way. That's the rules.
Renee,
love
what did you
that movie.
do?
I love it.
What? I wouldn't have said no
All right.
anyways.
I wanted to hear Jeremy talk about Christmas Vacation. Damn it!
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
Christmas Vacation should have made it.
no,
The
that-
other
that's
one that
sequel. Sequel
the,
stuff.
yeah.
It's not a Chris.
The other one that would have made my top 7 is Scrooged, which
I
is
had
the one I don't
Scrooged on
think.
my
I
Yeah.
knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy, we should have had Scrooge down there.
We should have. Oh well.
That was my only
Well,
80s
gotta
movie.
make room for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, it's
No
a lot
doubt.
better. It's a lot better than Polar Express. I'll give you that.
Yes.
All right. Let's bring it back down, guys. Let's bring it back down. Okay, so with that, our round 1 is finished. So here are the top 7 movies we're going to consider. It is White Christmas, Home Alone, It's a Wonderful Life, The Muppet
Oh,
Christmas
90s
Carol,
kids.
A Christmas Story, Elf, and the surprise of the evening, which will probably have everybody at our throats, is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Jingle All the Way.
I don't
Note to
believe
self: never
90s
make a joke
kids.
again.
90s kids are the worst ever.
I don't
That's all I
believe
can
this.
say.
I was just doing it as a
I
joke.
knew the
Don't
90s
blame
were going
me,
to destroy
Jeremy.
this list.
I don't believe this.
All right.
We need to wrap
Don't worry.
it up.
Hey, don't worry, because here comes where we can fix that mistake right now. All right, so we're moving on to round 2. This is the top 5 round. What's going to happen is we're going to go back around again. Now we are voting on, out of the 7 movies we have, we are voting for who we think should not make the top 5. So, and of course, yes, it's right here. Sorry, hold on, guys.
I know. We're starting a couple
So-
minutes late. I'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
sorry,
hear you
Robert,
saying
yeah.
Game of Thrones, Robert.
Yeah, sorry, Robert. I know you got to go. So,
No, it's all good.
all right. So like I said, so we're going with this. So actually, we started all over again. So, I guess it comes to me. As much as I just put it on there, I am going to nominate Jingle All the Way. Does not make this list. It's a great Christmas movie. It is not top 5. Jingle All the Way definitely needs to go. Jeremy, please agree with it.
It's better than Polar Express and Jim Carrey's The Grinch, but no, you guys are nuts. It should never have
All
been
right.
mentioned.
And just to
Let
make it
me,
even quicker.
let me make up my mistake here. Let me make up my mistake.
Okay,
if I
Tim.
might be the third no for the top 5.
You know,
Does Jingle All the Way
just-
get
you
off?
could have just
Yeah.
made it an honorable mention. You could have just brought it up.
Yeah, you didn't have to
I'm gonna
nominate.
do honorable mention.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I said that earlier.
I forgot to listen to that part.
So with that, Jingle All the Way is definitely not making our top 5 list. All right, so Jeremy, it
My
leaves it to you. We got 6 pretty strong movies. Who doesn't make the top 5? I think I know which one you're going to go with.
Can you run it through for me one more time? I'm sorry.
No problem. What is left is White Christmas, Home Alone, It's a Wonderful Life, The Muppet Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story, and Elf.
It's got to be Elf. Good movie though. Sorry guys.
Yep. Robert, does Elf get off the list?
Complete agreement with Jeremy. Elf shouldn't be in the top 5. It's good. It's in the
All
top
right.
7. It's not in the top 5.
And Mark, I'm sorry this has to come to you, but you were the only one who didn't get a vote last time, so does Elf not make the top 5?
In all honesty, there's just the one movie that I've never seen, or really heard of. So it's a yes for me because like it's got to take priority, just in fairness.
Okay, so Elf is still on as of right now. So let's go to Tim. Tim, does Elf get knocked off the list?
For the top 5 of the other ones you just mentioned, I would have to say it gets knocked off. Yeah.
All right, and with that, Elf is off. Good. That was the quickest second round we've probably ever had.
We made the right choice.
Let's be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I looked at the 5 we had before we started over again, and I'm like, we should just agree that this is the 5.
Yeah.
I was looking at those movies. I thought it was going to come down to these anyways. I think maybe only A Christmas Vacation would have had even the slightest chance of beating out one of these movies.
It should have, but oh well, never got in there.
Well, I'm definitely on Jeremy's shit list now.
All right, so we move to the final round, gentlemen, and that is the numbering round. So here's how it's going to work. Remind you of the 5 movies. We have White Christmas, Home Alone, It's a Wonderful Life, The Muppets Christmas Carol, and A Christmas Story. Now, on your whiteboards right now, you're going to write who you think should be number 5.
Oh,
And of course, how it goes is we'll all reveal our answers. Whoever has the majority vote will be that number 5 spot. If there's ever a tiebreaker or needs more votes to have the majority, then we will ask the people who didn't vote for the ones with the majority to re-vote. So put your number 5 right now. Just hold your whiteboards up when you're ready. All right, looks like we are all good. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the person farthest to my left. So that's Mark. Mark, what's number 5?
Like I said, the one movie that I've yet to see, or White Christmas.
Good night.
Okay, good night, buddy.
Oh, good night.
Oh, I thought it was a sound effect. Night, buddy.
All right.
No.
So that's one vote
His
for White
little
Christmas.
Mexican.
Jeremy.
Apologies to your mom, RJ. White Christmas.
Oh, you're all going down. Robert.
I had Home Alone.
Ooh. Tim?
Yeah, what Jeremy said. White Christmas.
With that, it doesn't even matter what I say. White Christmas ends up being number 5.
Honestly, thought I'd have to keep writing that down.
Yeah.
So that's number 5. All right.
Glad I made the list, though.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. I'm just glad I made the list. Like I said,
Yeah.
as long as my top one's in the list, I'm happy. But number 5, it should have at least been top 3. You guys, come on.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all right. All right. So we move on. Now let's write down your number 4. What you think number 4 should be?
What's the ones left real quick?
That is Home Alone, A Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, and The Muppet Christmas Carol. All right, looks like we're all ready. I'll move one person down this time. Jeremy.
I wrote "the" in really big letters to cover up my mistake. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
All right, Robert.
I had to stay Home Alone as principal. If I had it at number 5, I have to have it at number 4.
Of course.
That's fair. Tim?
I put "It's a Wonderful Life."
Ooh, this is going to be really interesting if
It's gonna
this
be a tough
happens.
one.
Because mine's different too. I followed the same principle as Robert. I said A Christmas Story.
Movie.
All right, so Mark, what's your choice?
Wonderful Life.
You're insane.
Ah, boy. Lock in number 4.
Lock it in, Jeremy, even though it's only 2 votes. Lock it in still.
No. Oh, I thought it was whoever got the most votes, or do we have to re-vote?
Well, like I said, we've never had
You
a
know,
situation
let's
where
do-
we've come down to
yeah,
2 and 1.
Let's do a re-vote. So the people that didn't pick A Christmas Story are It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, wait, no. That wouldn't make sense.
The
would it?
people who didn't.
I was going to say the people that, yeah. I think we need
Yeah,
to lock
we've
it
never
in.
had a-
It's just the easiest.
We've
Sorry,
never had
Robert.
a situation like this. You want to just do it like that?
Yeah, because
Just
if we
lock it
try
in.
to re-vote, it's going to get confusing.
Okay, no problem then.
Just punch me in the face again. It's all right.
Hey,
Hey,
at
I've been
least
punched
it,
in
at
the
least
face
it got on there, Robert. It
Yeah,
barely
it's
got on there.
yeah, it's on the
Hey,
list.
hey, it didn't punch me in the face as much as mine did. At least yours is higher than mine.
Or mine.
I mean, thank God it got on there. That's all I can
Yeah, that's
say.
true.
With these 90s
All right,
people,
so-
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So that locks it in. So Muppet Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story, and Home Alone. Which one's number 3? If this movie I'm voting for ends up number 1, I'm gonna riot. I'm calling this list bullshit.
You're so wrong. And you deserve it for Jingle All the Way. I hope it happens.
Hey,
All right. You still riding, Jeremy, or you good? Okay. All
I'm
right,
good.
so let's start with Robert this time.
I have to stay home alone.
I mean, he does.
You have to.
Tim?
A Christmas Story.
Thank you, and I stay too. I said A Christmas Story. Mark?
Muppet Christmas Story.
And Jeremy?
I have to say Muppet Christmas Carol. That's what I said last time.
So that leaves it to Robert. Robert, you have to change your vote. You don't have to write it down.
Oh.
What is number 3? A Christmas Story or the Muppet Christmas Carol?
A Christmas Story is number 3.
Thank you. Oh,
Well, it's not number 1.
I'm sorry. I was a little overexcited. But yes. All right. So here's our last voting round. This one is different. We are not voting for number 2. You are voting out of the 2 left. What is the number 1 Christmas movie? Please take your time because I'm going to need mine.
Oh, this is number 1? Sorry.
Yes, we're voting for number 1 now. You're not voting for number 2.
Okay.
Oh, man. That is tough. It's actually
It's gonna be real split.
yeah, probably.
Watch it be unanimous.
Wait, I'm sorry. I already forgot what they are.
Home Alone and the Muppet Christmas Carol. That's what we got left.
Okay.
Which do you think should be
it's
number
gonna
1?
It's gonna be
Number
pretty
1.
split. It's gonna be split.
Oh man. You know what? I don't think so.
I was writing down "It's a Wonderful Life." I guess I'm just in denial, thinking that was still available.
Me too, Jeremy. Me too.
Oh man.
I literally wrote
can't
half of the
Jingle All the
title.
Way.
Don't worry, my childhood got destroyed. But
If you wrote down "Jingle All the Way," I would have mad respect for you. That would be pretty funny.
All right. I'm just finishing up writing mine, but let's go ahead and start with Tim. What movie do you think should be number 1?
The Muppet Christmas Carol and Jingle All the Way.
Good
But the
job.
Muppet Christmas Carol in all seriousness.
And I also voted the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wow, this is shocking. Who knew?
Mark?
Home Alone.
Jeremy?
Home Alone.
Robert
So,
comes down to you
it's
again.
Muppet. Yeah.
And
Wow.
there you
Muppet
have
Christmas
it,
Carol.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Well,
All
I know one thing for sure. Zach Ford and Linus Babcock are going to be the happiest guys in the world.
That's not true.
Probably. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this panel. So let's give you the rundown. Here it is: the Full Metal 5 top 5 holiday movies. You have at number 5, which is a shame, White Christmas. At number 4, which is probably just as big as a shame because this should have been 1 and 2, and It's a Wonderful Life. Number 3, probably where it belongs, you have A Christmas Story. Number 2, you have Home Alone. And the number 1 Christmas movie, according to at least this group of weirdos, is the Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's the
Oh,
greatest
man.
Christmas story.
I'm so happy.
It is one of the greatest Christmas stories of all time, just told by Muppets.
Yep.
So I think it fits. But we're probably going to have some people in the comments. But let us know, guys, how did you like our list? Do you have different movies? Like, do you would have ordered our movies a different way? Would you have even voted for Jingle All the Way? That's going to be the biggest argument of all time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, RJ.
No, I apologize too, because I could have ended it, but I was like, no, I'm going to vote for this movie.
Can we throw out our honorable mentions real quick? Everyone want to throw out one or
Yes,
two?
by all means, Jeremy, go ahead. I know you got some.
I have 2.
Okay, well, I already mentioned Scrooged and Christmas Vacation. I would also like to throw out, I'm sure Robert will as well, Miracle on 34th Street, the original.
Yes.
Great classic. I will throw out Gremlins and Die Hard, the kind of sort of Christmas movies. And for Zach Ford, I just wanted to mention Christmas in Connecticut because I knew he was gung ho to have that one mentioned. The great 40s one with Barbara Stanwyck. So,
all right, Robert, any honorable mentions for you?
Yeah, we kind of touched on them. Scrooge, Miracle on 34th Street were both on there for me, as was Holiday Inn. We went with White Christmas instead, but the original 40s Holiday Inn I really loved.
I forgot about that one. That's
all right, Tim, any honorable mentions for you?
Well, one, now that I just remembered it, the Snowball Express, even though it's not Christmas, but it's about a mountain skiing resort back in the day of Disney. Jeremy, you might remember it. Bad Santa in 2003.
Oh, Bad Santa.
Home Alone 2, and The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
I am definitely surprised I never got
there you go.
Up. All right, Mark.
There you go.
I didn't want Jeremy to shoot me.
No, I've pretty much blanked out my childhood now just because it's after tonight. My childhood means nothing.
And for me,
a Mickey Christmas Carol technically would have counted, Mark, because it was released theatrically.
It was
Christmas
actually.
Carol.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it wasn't feature length, but it did play in theaters.
I don't know what my childhood means if Christmas doesn't mean Christmas.
So for me, the couple ones I got to throw out. One is Jack Frost. That was going to be the next one I was going to nominate. That's a really touching movie with Michael Keaton playing harmonica. I like it. I don't know why. This Christmas, 2004 kind of family movie. Great cast and just a nice little one of those like what do they call it? Dysfunctional family, like one of those dysfunctional family holiday stories. I really enjoy it. And then, of course, everyone else would have said no to it, but I was going to throw out Ron Howard's How the Grinch Stole Christmas because screw you guys. I enjoy the hell out of that movie. I don't care if anybody else doesn't like it. I thought Jim Carrey was hilarious.
Jeremy, get him.
I think some Hollywood executives at Universal had a copy of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the book, and said, okay, how can we literally crap on this in every way possible? Hey, give me some fluorescent colors and some feces. Let's throw them all over this book.
Just like Warner Brothers did with DC.
Hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I just happen to enjoy the movie. Hey, and I hope Benedict Cumberbatch does a good job when Illumination gives him the chance at it.
I have hopes.
If no one knew that was coming out.
Yeah, I have hopes for that one.
Yeah, I have real good hopes for that one. So with that, we're going to end the stream for us. So thank you all of you for anyone who joined live and those of you who are going to watch. Like we said, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
Happy holidays, everyone.
See you later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.